We are born because of need, but we rise because of love. Most people live with logic, calculation, and survival. But only those who burn with purpose ever transform. Iqbal tells us, love is not emotion, it is the fire that makes the self alive. This is Iqbal's Ishq, the force that turns knowledge into action, discipline into power, and the human being into a co-creator with the divine. Today, we continue our 50-part journey through Asrar-e Khudi, the masterpiece where Allama Iqbal reveals the inner secrets of the self. This is Episode 6. Take a deep breath, settle your mind, and let the wisdom unfold. Every life begins with need, but it is transformed by love. Iqbal writes that the soul's first stirring toward greatness is not reason, not intellect, but ishq, that deep, living passion which gives the self its fire. Without love, the self remains cold and mechanical. It may think, plan, or act, but its actions lack spirit. Reason builds, love breathes life. Reason defines the path. Love gives it motion. He says, reason is the lamp, but love is the flame. In this image, we find the heart of Iqbal's philosophy. The lamp alone cannot light the world. It must be ignited by love. For love is the principle of creation, the secret energy through which the universe unfolds. Every atom, every star, every living thing moves because of an inner pull, a longing to unite, to fulfill, to become. That longing, says Iqbal, is love. It is not the love of sentiment or desire, but the magnetic force that draws being toward perfection. Just as gravity holds the stars in harmony, love holds the soul in the orbit of meaning, in the life of the individual. This love first appears as attraction to beauty, to truth, to ideals, to others. But as the self matures, love becomes inwardly directed, not toward possession, but toward transformation. The immature self loves what pleases it. The awakened self loves what perfects it. This is why Iqbal says, love is not weakness, it is power. The power of love lies in its ability to unite opposites, to bring together passion and discipline, individuality and universality, freedom and devotion. Reason divides to understand. Love unites to create. And in this union lies all strength. Iqbal saw in love the dynamic center of life itself. He believed that God created the universe out of love, not out of necessity, but desire to be known, to be reflected in countless forms. When the human being loves, they participate in that same divine act. Love makes the self co-creator with the infinite. But such love demands purity. It burns away the false and temporary. It refuses to coexist with fear, pride, or imitation. True love, Iqbal says, destroys everything that is not real within you, until only your essence remains. This is why love is both joy and fire. It uplifts, but it also purifies. It gives wings, but it also demands surrender. The self that loves must be willing to be reshaped, to let go of the old, to pass through the fire of transformation. In this way, love becomes the great teacher. It teaches courage to stand firm in truth. It teaches patience to bear the pain of becoming. It teaches humility to see the divine in others. And through these lessons, love gives the self its strength. Iqbal calls this the alchemy of love, the process by which a fragile human being is turned into a vessel of divine power. For love, he says, is not a feeling to be enjoyed. It is a force to be lived. It does not ask, "How do I feel?" It asks, "What must I become in this transformation?" Every limitation becomes an opportunity. Every struggle becomes a spark. Love turns pain into progress, loss into expansion, and longing into creativity. The self that loves deeply does not escape the world. It transforms it. It carries fire within and gives light without. Such a person becomes what Iqbal calls the man of God. Not through ritual, but through radiance. Their presence itself is creation. Their every act is prayer. Their every breath is purpose. And so, love is not a stage on the journey of Khudi. It is the journey itself, the eternal movement of the soul toward its source. When love first awakens in the heart, it is wild, luminous, and free. It stirs everything within us: desire, joy, hope, and longing. But to Iqbal, this first awakening is only the beginning. True love must be disciplined, not by suppression, but by purpose. He says, "Love without law is chaos. Law without love is death." This balance is the secret of spiritual power. Unrestrained love consumes itself. Disciplined love becomes creative. Iqbal saw in love the divine principle of order within energy, the same principle that shapes a flame into light and a storm into rhythm. Without discipline, fire destroys. With discipline, it warms and illuminates. And so it is with the human self. When love governs the heart, discipline becomes effortless. It is no longer a burden, but an expression of devotion. The lover does not obey out of fear, but out of passion. Their effort is not duty, or it is worship. Each act of control becomes a way of preserving the flame. Iqbal contrasts two kinds of beings: the cold rationalist and the passionate lover. The rationalist analyzes life, but never truly lives it. The lover risks, strives, and creates. And in that risk, the self becomes real. He writes, "Only he who burns may illuminate." This burning is not destruction, it is purification. The self passes through the fire of love and comes out refined, concentrated, and whole. To love truly means to give all of oneself to something greater, to truth, to beauty, to God, to the ideal of perfection. Such love makes life meaningful, because it binds every moment to purpose. Reason asks, Why should I act? Love answers, because it is true to my being. Through this devotion, love becomes the self's inner law. It regulates thought, emotion, and desire. It turns chaos into harmony, conflict into rhythm. Iqbal calls this process self-integration, the gathering of scattered energies into a single direction. When a person loves something deeply and purely, all their powers align. They no longer waste themselves on 1,000 small aims. Their will becomes one, focused, radiant, unstoppable. Such unity gives birth to character. Character, for Iqbal, is not inherited. It is forged by love. The self that loves truth cannot lie. The self that loves justice cannot betray. The self that loves God cannot fear. In this way, love becomes the center of moral strength. It does not command from outside. It inspires from within. Iqbal writes, "The law of love is the law of creation itself. Every creator, every prophet, every reformer acts from this fire. They are not driven by logic alone, but by an inner necessity, a divine restlessness that demands expression. This is why love, for Iqbal, is the truest form of knowledge. It reveals what reason cannot see. It perceives unity where intellect sees division. It feels the living pulse of reality. The lover understands life not through concepts, but through participation. To love is to live within the rhythm of creation itself. Such love transforms the human being from a passive observer into a creative force. When love matures, it becomes will, a will aligned with the divine will. It does not resist reality, it collaborates with it. The lover becomes a co-creator with God, a participant in the ongoing act of creation. This is the stage where love becomes power. Not the power to dominate, but the power to manifest truth. The lover does not seek control over others, but mastery over self. And in that mastery lies the secret of freedom. For Iqbal, love is not weakness. It is the supreme energy of existence. It moves suns and souls alike. It is the inner motion of the cosmos, the very breath of God within the human heart. In the final movement of Iqbal's philosophy of love, the fire that began as passion and matured through discipline now becomes union, but not the union of extinction. For Iqbal, true love never destroys individuality. It perfects it. Love does not dissolve the self into nothingness. It gives the self eternal meaning. He writes, "To lose the self is error. To strengthen it in love is life." This is one of Iqbal's most revolutionary ideas. In many traditions, love is seen as the melting of the self into the beloved, a disappearance into unity. But Iqbal saw this as the death of creativity. If the self vanishes, who will love? Who will create? Who will bear witness? He teaches instead that the lover and the beloved remain distinct, not as opposites, but as mirrors. Each reflects the other's beauty, Each affirms the other's existence. Love, then, is not escape from the self. It is its highest realization. The lover draws nearer to the divine, not by losing individuality, but by perfecting it until it becomes transparent, a flawless mirror of God's light. In this way, love becomes the path to immortality. When the self aligns perfectly with the rhythm of the eternal, its own existence becomes eternal. Iqbal calls this the completion of Khudi. The self that began as awareness, grew through discipline, and burned with love, now stands before God as a conscious co-creator. This is not arrogance, it is devotion at its highest. For the perfected self no longer says, "I am apart from you." It says, "I exist because you will me to exist." It acts in harmony with the divine purpose. Its freedom is obedience. Not forced, but chosen. Not submission, but participation. Iqbal believed that this is the destiny of the human being, to rise to such spiritual strength that even God's trust can rest upon them. He recalls the verse of the Quran, "We offered the trust to the heavens and the earth, but they refused to bear it. Man undertook it." That trust, Iqbal says, is the creative will, the divine confidence in humanity. And love is the force that makes us worthy of it. The self that loves truly does not seek miracles. It becomes one. Its presence changes hearts. Its words awaken souls. Its vision reshapes the world. This, for Iqbal, is the secret of immortality. To live in love is to live in the stream of divine creation, where death loses its meaning. The body may fade, but the spirit continues to act. Through influence, through legacy, through truth. He writes, "He who is made strong by love never perishes. His being is woven into the eternal." Such love is rare. It demands complete sincerity, a heart stripped of pride, a will purified by struggle, a vision fixed upon the infinite. But when it appears, the universe itself bends toward it. For love is the law that governs existence, and the lover is the living embodiment of that law. Iqbal's man of love is not a recluse, not a mystic withdrawn from the world. He is active, creative, luminous. His worship is work. His meditation is motion. His prayer is creation. Through love, he becomes the instrument of God's unfolding purpose. Through love, he transcends fear and time. Through love, he attains the peace of participation, the joy of living not for self alone, but for the whole. The journey that began with "I am" ends with "I am through you." The circle of love is complete. Individuality perfected. Freedom fulfilled. Eternity attained. This, Iqbal says, is the destiny of Khudi. To love so deeply that it becomes eternal through its own devotion.